You know, when we talk about securing AI, we've actually gotten pretty good at spotting when something's off. But honestly, detection is just step one. If we're going to truly lock these systems down, we have to go way beyond just seeing a problem to really truly understanding it. So let's dive into that crucial next phase, the investigation.
All right, picture this. Your AI, out of nowhere, just starts spitting out bizarre, unexpected, or flat out wrong stuff. Right away, you're facing this huge question. Is this just, a harmless little glitch, the model being weird? Or is this the first sign of a really sophisticated targeted attack? That ambiguity, that's the real challenge here.
And this right here, this is the core dilemma. I mean, on one side, you've got what we call benign variance. This could be anything from the model naturally drifting over time to, well, someone just using it wrong. But on the other side, you've got full-on adversarial activity. We're talking prompt injection, where a hacker tricks the model, or even data poisoning, which is a much, much deeper compromise. The million-dollar question is, how on earth do you tell the two apart?
Because jumping to the wrong conclusion, it's not just a bad move, it is actively dangerous. Just guessing which problem you have can kick off a whole chain reaction of security failures. And the consequences, they are very, very real.
So, first off, if you guess wrong, you're going to deploy the wrong fix. Simple as that. You could waste weeks patching what you think is a software bug when the real problem is that your dataset has been poisoned. All that does is waste precious time and money. And even worse, it leaves the real vulnerability wide open for the attacker to hit you again. The second risk, well, this one is even scarier, completely missing a deeper, stealthier attack. What looks like a simple weird output, the tip of the iceberg, could actually be a sign of a massive data breach happening in the background, or a silent backdoor that's been planted in your model. If you just treat the symptom, you completely miss the disease.
And finally, there's the risk of failing audits and just losing trust. We're in an age of serious regulation now. You have to be able to prove how you investigated an incident and explain why you did what you did. If you don't have a formal process, you've got no way to show regulators, your partners, or your customers that you can be trusted.
So, what's the solution? We need a process. We need what you could call an analytical bridge that connects that first moment you spot something weird to the moment you take the right, decisive action. In that bridge, it's built on a process called root cause analysis. Think of it as a formal, professional way to answer the most important questions. What happened? How did it happen? Why did it happen? And maybe most importantly, how sure are we about all of that? This isn't about guessing anymore. This is forensics. And look, this isn't just a good idea, it's quickly becoming the gold standard. Following this kind of investigative process is pretty much essential now for complying with the big security frameworks from groups like NIST, which sets the rules for the US government, and global communities like OWASP. All right, enough theory. Let's get practical. What does this investigation actually look like on the ground? It's time to open up the investigator's toolkit and walk through how you systematically gather the clues you need to crack the case. Okay, step one. The very first thing you do is you reconstruct the timeline of the event. You pull together every single piece of data you can find. Prompts, API calls, data retrievals, network logs, you name it, to build this super precise second-by-second sequence of what happened. Your goal here is to find that one moment, the first abnormal event where things started to go sideways. Once you have that timeline, you start analyzing the interaction itself. This is so important because most of the attacks on these language models happen right there at the prompt. So you're correlating what the user typed with what the system did, you're looking for weird usage patterns like a sudden explosion of activity, and you're mapping all of it back to who the user was and what they were allowed to do. Next, you've got to validate the model's behavior against what you know is normal. You're looking for a clear, obvious change from that baseline. Is the model's tone suddenly off? Is it blowing past safety rules it used to follow? A big shift like that could mean something really bad, like someone's messed with its core parameters or even switched on a hidden backdoor. From there, you dig into the AI's brain, its knowledge. For systems that use RAG, or retrieval augmented generation, you're going to inspect the documents it's pulling up for answers. You also have to go back and check the original data it was trained on. A poisoned dataset is one of the sneakiest and most damaging attacks out there. The final layer of clue gathering is the system itself. You're looking for fingerprints at the hardware level, like weird spikes in GPU usage or strange network activity. And hey, if your AI uses external tools or plugins, you have to trace every single thing they did. An attacker could be using a tool as a bridge to get to your databases or other internal systems. Okay, so you've done all the legwork, you've gathered all this evidence from every single layer of the system. Now it's time to put it all together, assemble the case file, and finally draw a conclusion. But here's a really, really important point. Not all evidence is the same. You have to grade its strength. Is it strong evidence, meaning you can reproduce it and you've got it confirmed from multiple sources? Is it moderate, where things kind of line up but not perfectly? Or is it weak, just a one-off, isolated anomaly? This step is absolutely crucial. Because as this quote says, getting the grading right prevents two huge mistakes: either overreacting to a tiny issue with a massive, painful system rollback, or underreacting to a critical threat that needed to be escalated, like yesterday. Getting this right means your response is perfectly matched to the actual risk. All of this incredible analysis leads to one final, super important document, the determination summary. This is it. This is your official case file. It outlines everything: the type of attack, the root cause, how confident you are, the blast radius, and exactly what needs to be fixed. This becomes your official record and your action plan. So let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. Why does all of this rigorous, detective-like work matter so much? Well, it's all about building AI that isn't just secure, but is also trustworthy and, from a legal standpoint, totally defensible. And this isn't just some abstract idea. We're talking about stopping real-world threats. Whether you're up against attacks that inject malicious prompts, poison your data, or exploit insecure tools your AI is connected to, this investigative framework is exactly how you find them, how you understand them, and ultimately how you stop them for good. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. Don't think of this as a bunch of random checklists. It is one single, unified, repeatable method you can use to evaluate every single incident, every single time. This is what a mature AI security program is built on. So the next time your AI starts acting bizarre, don't just see it as a bug. See it for what it could be: a crime scene. And the only question left is, are you ready to be the investigator?